one, we have Andrea Palaia. Next one in our list is another very interesting profile, this time a mix of data scientist and data engineering. So for those of you that are looking at the data engineering part of it, so he got a PhD in high energy physics from Uppsala University in Sweden, working in the compact linear collider at CERN. After that, he joined Detectify, where I think he's still there today, a startup funded by ethical hackers, and he will tell you more now about what the roles he has gone through in the company.
Exactly. Thanks so much. Thanks, Simona, for helping out with the slides. So this is my story. Story of an experimental physicist that after his PhD landed his first job as a data scientist first, and a bit later as lead of his team of data scientists and data engineers in a security startup that was funded by ethical hackers and is trying to scale and automate crowdsourced vulnerability research. And all that without knowing anything about IT security or ethical hacking. So everything started about 20 years ago in Rome when I started my bachelor in physics. That was also the first time I'm at CERN as a summer student with the Atlas experiment, commissioning muon detectors. A little bit after that, I'm at CERN again in 2009, between 2009 and 2013, as a PhD student that time, working at CHF3 on the feasibility study for the compact linear collider. And it was right after my PhD that I realized, okay, now I want to look a little bit outside of the world I know so far, which was the academic world, and try to understand how does the industry, the private sector, look. And the transition was not easy. For me, it was quite a struggle. I basically started 13 months of a hectic search and trying to figure out what a physicist could be useful for in the private IT sector. It took really some time, and the feeling I had was really that I had no skills, no relevant skills compared to what the industry was looking for, and that employers would not take the risk of hiring someone that up until a few months back had his head in the research bubble. And this brings me to what I show in next slide, which is a little bit of the realization I got trying to find this breakthrough. And comparing what actually industry was looking for, was asking me, and what I actually learned during my PhD. I think a lot of you might relate with this, but the realization is during a PhD and many years of university, I learned how to approach problems in an analytical way, how to support my claims and findings and explain them to other people, how to plan and organize my work, how to ask relevant questions, and also how to put a lot of attention to details. And this realization, together with the realization that all the work I did during my PhD, all the data analysis I've done, was called in the industry data science, and that all the software that I wrote was also part of what is called data engineering, finally brought me to my next step, which was trying to figure out the two key things that landed me my first job, which was learning the jargon and knowing the tools. As a physicist, I always try to build everything myself. Like we are taught, don't trust anything, build your algorithms, do analysis with things that you can control, which is great. But that also kept me far away from frameworks and tools and what actually are the tools that are off the shelves used by the industry. And once I started doing that and learning the jargon, I started talking data scientists language and data engineering language. And that is exactly how I landed my first job as a data scientist.
1 minute left. Sorry.
Thank you. So I have just one slide left, which is my current role today. It was 2015 when I joined Detectify as a data scientist. And the journey from then has been a little bit of mix between data science and data engineering for me. I joined a startup, so I could really kept on building everything from scratch. As you can imagine, when you join a group of 5 people that try to build a product. And today, after almost 7 years, I must say that's been a great journey, and I learned a lot. And now I moved a little bit from data science and data engineering to leading a team of data scientists and data engineers, which is responsible in the company for building infrastructure, letting everyone access to data, and pushing machine learning as a tool to improve business need and support business needs, and also to support vulnerability research. And that's it.
Thank you, Andrea. Very interesting. In one of your slides, you already managed to partially answer the most voted question, which is the time about as a postdoc or doing a PhD. How does it help? So whenever we get to the questions, I think you will be my first candidate to elaborate a bit more on that one that is of big interest to a lot of people.